The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the people's platform.
On this episode of Polymer Play with me, Barbara Hanson, we're going to be exploring the wonderful world of polymer clay beads and all the different styles you can create. Round ones, flat ones, and everything in between. Stay tuned. Aloha! Welcome to this episode of Polymer Play with me, Barbara Hanson. Today we're going to explore all types of polymer clay beads. We don't want to waste any time. Let's jump right in. Okay, so I'm going to start with round beads. And what I usually do, we end up having a whole lot of scrap when we pull our canes down. And so I can take the scrap and put it through my dough sheeter if it's scrap that doesn't make a good color. And I end up with something kind of like this. And with this, it doesn't matter what it looks like. You don't want to waste your good clay on the inside because you want to save that for your canes. So we'll take this, we'll cut it into strips, and we're going to end up covering it completely to create our beautiful magical beads. So once we figure this out, I'm going to start with big beads because I'm going to show you how I make beads for different I do a lot of, stainless stuff, stainless kitchenware. And so there's different shaped beads that I use, and that's what we're going to make. First off. So we'll take our square that we have, and I already have it pre-sized because I've done this a few times. And you kind of have to remember that you make your preliminary bead and check it to the piece to see what size, if it's the right size. And remember that once you add your clay around the outside, it's going to end up being bigger. Okay, so now I have this nice round ball to start with. Put this out of the way. Okay, now if I'm going to do a bead that has the same pattern, I'm going to use different sizes. So I start by building big ones, and then I'm going to pull it down. Actually, I'll just take part of it. Give it a little tug, so I'm squeezing it together as I pull it. See how the diameter is getting smaller and the length is getting longer. Even it out a little. Cut off the end. Do several. Cut. Now, when I'm cutting, I like to roll as I cut because what that does is it keeps the slices all separate and they stay more round, which makes it easier when you're applying them. So I'll go a little smaller here, cut again. So although I'm using these for food utensils, you can wash them with soap and water, but you're not supposed to use polymer clay as like a plate or something that you eat off of because it isn't food safe like that. Okay, you can see I'm taking different size pieces and I'm working my way around kind of like a soccer ball to kind of cover the whole space. And then you roll it in. And I think it's always magical. People always go, oh, when they see what happens. Let's see here, I've got some small guys over here. So I want to get them as close together as I can without overlapping. And I don't want to leave big gaps because the color that's underneath will shine through. And remember, you can push and change your shape so it fits in different areas like that. Oh, I'm almost there. Oh, this little guy, he's stuck. And put a little one up in the top. So it's also important if you measure out your balls in the beginning, you can see the difference once I put the slices around it, how much bigger it got. Okay, so if you look closely, you can really see that they're as close together as they can be without overlapping. But you can still see all the seams. So watch this. This is magic. You're going to do tight, small, little, very, like lots of pressure. If you do big movements like this, then the patterns do that. So you want to keep it tight and small. And yay, it's coming together. See, it's getting there. Almost. These beads feel so smooth when they're done. I love it. Okay. Okay, see the difference? Look at that. Now that is awesome. Okay. You can see how they've all come together. So it's the same thing that they did with glass. They had the little chips of the Millefiore flowers and they put them around the molten ball of glass and heated them together. Okay, making a hole. I'm going straight down with my trusty paper clip. That's funny. Make it go all the way through. My bead is complete. I'm going to put it on the tray. Now when I'm doing these types of things, I know that I've got a longer shaft here, so I want to make a secondary bead that fits here. And I've already got that pre-measured. So I'm going to roll that one up. But now on this one I'm going to use smaller slices because it's a smaller ball. So as we, whoop, I feel like I'm patting my head and rubbing my stomach at the same time. Okay, make this a little smaller. The nice thing about the beads too is the more that you handle them, the nicer the patina comes on the outside just from the oils of your hands. Okay. So then you'll make your smaller bead. Again, you're going around. I'm varying the size because I like it that way. You can keep them all the same size if you want to, but sometimes it puts you in a pickle at the end. Because you always want to be looking like 2 spots forward as you do placement. Okay, we're almost there. Then we'll do our little magic wonder roll. Okay, look at that. Oh, I love it when it's perfect. Okay, so we've got that again. We're going to roll it. And then we're going to do one with multicolors. Now the multicolor ones are great when you have a whole bunch of rolls and you're down to the ends of everything and you're not sure what to do with them. This is one of the things that you can do. Okay, I'm going to poke a hole. Get it right where I want it. Go straight down. Remember, always poke your hole while your bead's on the table. If you poke your hole while your bead's in your hand, you'll distort the shape of your bead. Believe me, I've done it. Okay, now we're going to switch it up to some more colorful stuff. And in this, we're doing something you can kind of see like these guys. They're very bright and happy. And you'll see I have big things, small slices, big slices, all different sizes. And I also have it like these. I'm gonna go for stuff like this too, because I want to show you how you can make different sizes. Beads don't all have to be round. That's kind of the beauty of the bead and the beauty of polymer clay, because you can take, once you've rolled the bead in, you can manipulate it to do anything that you want it to do. You can make it a barrel bead, you can make it a triangle, you can make it a heart. I'm adding some of these little guys in that were pre-cut. I like to have a variety of sizes cut. I do a little, smorgasbord, so that when I'm starting to put it together, I don't have to stop and cut. But I don't like to overcut, because then sometimes they don't get used. And polymer clay is a total dust magnet. So, okay. The other thing to remember when you're wearing your beads is all this can be worn in the ocean, the pool. The color goes all the way through, so it's not going to wear off. Okay, so now we're working on a bead shaped like this. So you think that you would roll it like this, but actually you don't. You still want to roll it into a ball. Just give it a little power roll. Let's see, what other colors do I want to add in there? I think I need a little bit of this. Okay. So often when I'm building my tubes, I'll mix a batch of color and I'll work on like the minimum of 3 different patterns with the same colors. And I do that so that if I'm stringing a necklace, I have multiple things that go together. Or if I'm working on, you know, beads or something like this, if I do like a blue bead and then an orange bead and then a black bead, I mean, that might go together, but it might not. Makes it more cohesive in putting it together. This is a wild one. I'm loving it. So I'm working my way around. Do I have one of these? It's too big. See, trying to fit them in there. This guy will fit here. See how fun it is when you get to add them all together? I like that. And remember, you can squeeze them and distort them so they fit the way you want them to. What's one of my sayings? You control your clay. Don't let it control you. Okay. Get it in here, so let's find one we like. I think this is a good size. I'm going to push it, make it long, so it just fits right in there. Woohoo! Okay. So again, we've got all different, and even some of these, they're not all exactly the same thickness, but they're close enough. As my grandpa would say, as a civil engineer, close enough for bridge work. Miss you. Okay, we'll roll this in. These are fun. People are so fascinated when they see these beads. It's like, how did you make that? You know? So, well, let me show you. You can show them how. Okay, so now we've got this, and we can see it's all rolled in smooth. And we want to look and see which patterns we want on the side of the cylinder. I think I like it there, so I'm going to give it a little push this way. Okay, so we're kind of getting it there. Make sure your table's clean. You can give it a little roll. And stand it up. Pat it. Pat it. Now, these are a little bit trickier when you go to pierce them, just because it's longer and you ideally want to go down the center, right? Okay, so make sure your paper clip is straight. I go right over it, come straight down. I did pretty good. You can always push it a little bit like that if it's not quite perfect. The other thing is, for these, you can see the hole that I'm making is small, and the shaft that it's going to go onto is bigger. So basically what I call this is a lead hole, and I can use a drill to go through once it's been fired to enlarge the hole. And I can't give you the specific numbers of what size drill bit to use because it depends. Each one of the different stainless things, they have different diameters. So that's something. What I usually do is I take the drill bit, we'll get there, and I just kind of hold it up next to it because I like a tight fit, but some people like it when they spin. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. So that's it. Okay, I'm going to show you. Okay, so we've got a barrel bead, we have a big round bead, we have a small round bead, but now let's make a tiny round bead. And this is something that I would use for earrings like this. Now, you don't have to have all this other stuff down at the bottom, but this is just showing you something else. You could also use these beads strung in a necklace. That'd be beautiful. But the tricky thing about making these beads is not the actual putting them together, but it's getting the size right underneath. So what I usually do is I'll roll out some of the scrap And I'll make my cut. And I'm remembering that the bead that I'm making is going to be bigger than the piece that I'm seeing here. I'm going to line it up. I mean, it's handmade, so nothing's going to be perfect. So you're going to take one of these, roll it. And since this is such a small bead, I'm going to be using smaller canes. All right. My desk is looking really fun. Okay, give it a little pull. If you wanted to do like a graduated necklace, then you would start with the bigger bead in the center and then make 2 matching beads that are smaller, matching beads that are smaller, smaller, smaller. And that would be a beautiful... I don't do those that often anymore because they take a lot of time. But actually, as I'm saying that, I think I should go make some. That's a great thing about polymer clay too, is there's just so many different things to make. I never get tired of working with the material because it's always changing. Some days it's jewelry, clocks. I'm working on a really big, I'm working on a 3-foot whale tail right now. That's killer. You'll get to see that soon. And, okay. So I'm working my way around here. We're almost done. Just to show you the itty bitty. Luckily, I've already cooked some, so we'll get to jump right into drilling, learning how to put it together. Okay, so now I have this. I'm gonna roll it in. And voila, magic. Okay, there it is. And what I was starting to say about making another type of triangular bead is you could do something, going off the beaten path a little bit right now, but you know, you could do something like that. Oh no, let's make that into a heart. See, explore. Polymer clay is fun. Or polymer play. Clay is play. Here we go. Oh, this is so cute. Oh, I know what I'm going to do with it. God, I love when things happen like that. Okay, so see this precious little heart? I could take a, oh yes, I could take a little, one of the eye pins and put it, let's see, if the string is going to go this way, the jump ring is going to go this way, so this needs to go this way. Can you speak, Barbara? That's how my mind works. Okay, this goes this way. There we go. Oh, this is going to be so cute. So you could either make 2 earrings or use that as a pendant or whatever you want, but oh, that makes me happy. Okay, we're going to fast forward to the next part of this. Oh, no, we're not, because I forgot to show you how to make a slice bead. Okay. So in my necklace, you can see that I'm using all these different slices. I have them on my bracelet too. So the most important thing when you're making slice beads is that they're thick enough that the string could go through it. If you do it too thin, you can't get a hole. So when I'm doing them, that's about it. This is the easy way to make a bead. And again, you go straight down. And you can do these any size. Of course, as the diameter gets larger, it gets more difficult to pierce. But see that there. So I put it on there, I slide it off, goes on the tray. Okay. Now in this one, this bracelet, you can see I have 2 strands going through. So I needed a little bit bigger bead. So we'll take this. This is a pretty pattern. I just made this one. Okay, I'm gonna take it, and I did them in an oval because it was easier to get the bead hole straight through. Okay, so I've got this. Give it a little pat on either side. Okay, that looks good. I take one slice off just to make it a clean cut. Straight down. There you go. Now when I poke my holes for 2, and you could do 3 or, you know, as many holes as you want, you're going to go down, pick it up, and then I flip it over and I go down, pick it up. There's my bead, straighten a little, and that's that type of bead. Okay. Now, I cooked some beads, so we're going to go, now we get to play with the ones that we made, or that I made yesterday, but the ones that you're going to make at home. Okay, so, I'm just going to drill one for you to see. So I'm going to take my drill, just because when you're drilling these guys, you really need to hold on to the bead because, okay, it's going to get loud for a second here. Here we go. There you go. That's how you get a hole in your bead. Okay, that's done. Now, when you get your project ready to go, it's really cool how these work. So this is threaded. This thread goes into here. Normally we'll go back and I'll use super glue gel. I'll make sure you use gel to adhere them all, but I'm not going to do that right this second because I'm just showing you how this works. I like these big, I call them sassy beads, but I don't know why. Maybe because the thing is sassy and I can't get it open. All right. So I'm going to do one. I'm going to go through the bottom like this, okay? And I'm going to look at this and see how much space I have from the bead to the bottom of the threading, okay? And since I've done this a few times, I know what I need, but you've got, see, we've got that and that. You see how that goes? There's a little thread. What we would do now is take this, dip it in a little bit of the super glue gel, and then put this on. Get it nice and tight. There you go. How awesome is that? Yeah, so that's cool. Okay, I'll show you another style. These are great. These are wine corks. Again, you don't have to stick with round. This is just what I'm doing. So I'm going to put this through. Okay. I can see now on this, I can go a little bit above the thread because there's more threading. The other one that there wasn't very much. So I'm going to look at my colors and pull out some little pop that looks good. This is kind of got ooh, I like that. Oh, that's good. Okay. Happiness. So I would hold this. I would dip it in the super glue gel. Take my little bead. You want to do it in a timely fashion. Otherwise the glue will it'll get in those threads and then you won't be able to put this on. So voila, there you go. Now if you're doing, sometimes when you drill it, it's a little bit tight, which is what the way this one is. And I just want to show you what I do when they're tight. You can either go back and drill it bigger, but sometimes they're just kind of in an in-between size and you don't want it super loose. So with this, there's threads. You see those threads in there? So basically what I'm doing is I'm threading this bead on to this shank, I guess I would call it. And boy, you don't want to get this all the way on and decide you wanted a bead underneath it. So you'd be sad. But you get the point. You thread it all the way down. You can put a bead on it. And then you would have something like... Where'd it go? Something like this. So that's that project. Okay. One thing that I forgot to show you with your beads, another thing that you can do, I'm going to backtrack for a second. When you have these round ones, sometimes I use these for my keychains, and anybody who's followed me for any period of time, I've been known for keychains. I've been making them like 35 years and everybody loves them. And the string gives out before the bead. And anyhow, once you have, I'm getting rid of the holes, that's why I'm re-rolling it. If you want to make a keychain, it's cool if you take it and you see which what pattern you want on the center, always look at both sides. Okay, I'm going to just press it down and flip it and press it down. How cool is that? You could also make like little turtle backs or anything. And then I would go and pierce it. And I just wanted to show you this style because this, again, you have to drill it, can create something like this keychain. Or you could do them round if you want them round. And I swear, the more that you hold these, just the nicer that they get. Okay, now we made some little beads too, so let me show you how we're going to use those. So you can take, I'm not going to be stringing necklaces today because that's a whole nother show, but you can take your beads that you made. These are the slice beads that we did, and this is called a head pin. It has a flat bottom, kind of like a nail, and with these you can take your, that's there so the bead doesn't fall off. I mean, that makes sense, right? Okay, so I want both my beads going the same direction. So see how they match. And I'm going to put a green bead and a pink bead. And I typically, when I'm beading earrings, ooh, there's a hole. When I'm beading earrings, I don't put on two beads that are the same size. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I'm really into varying the sizes. I think it gives it more. Okay, so we've got that. We take our snipper, we cut it. Close your eyes when you snip it. You take your needle nose pliers and you're going to wind it towards you and then back. Grab your ear wire and you have just made some really cool earrings. And remember, you can wear them anywhere. How cute is that? So that's how you do that. The other style, now that was called a head pin. This is called an eye pin. See how it has that little loop? So you're going to take needle nose pliers, open it up. Now you can put a charm, you could put another bead, you can put whatever you want hanging from the bottom. I'm going to do this, so I'm going to loop that on there, and I'm going to close it up. Yep. And I'm going to take the beautiful round bead that we made and put it on there. I love these bright. I'm all about the fuchsia. Fuchsia, oh my gosh, we haven't even talked about my boots. Today, I've got really awesome leopard boots with a killer block heel. Ideal for making beads. Okay, again, we're going to snip the top. And needle nose pliers. Bend it towards you. Bend it back. Grab your earring. Ear wire, put it down. Hello, how fun is that? Spring is here. Actually, summer's here. But anytime in Hawaii, it's a good time to wear butterflies and flowers, that's for sure. I want you to take all your scrap material, roll it into a big log, cut it into even strips, put your little slices all the way around, roll those babies up, poke them with a paper clip, low fire them, 13 minutes, 315 degrees. Get them out and make some jewelry. It's fun to have fun jewelry. As you can tell, I'm like the jewelry queen. Anyhow, have a lovely day and go explore Polymer Play. Aloha. Bye-bye.